When you see Davos, the whole setup of Davos, what do you think of it?
I think it's like the Oscars for financial services people. They get to congratulate.
Should it happen?
No, it's
Well, they're all going on their private planes and preach about climate change.
It's
with some random woman from the Amazon rainforest coughing on them, right? And I'm like, what am I watching
It's
here?
a networking opportunity for rich people. It's, a self-congratulatory, nonsensical bunch of right? And it's so out of touch with the real problems of the world. And just, I know that because John Kerry went there. So what does that say, right?
Well, he was jumped about because he uses more private planes than anybody in history.
Yeah.
And there is a contradiction there because I sort of think, well, the one thing we learned in the pandemic, other than to watch everything on TV and movies, was we also learned that you don't have to be with each other physically to have a meeting.
Yeah.
Why, if you're having a meeting about things like climate change, as Kerry does, do you not just do it remotely and save your carbon footprint?
Because you can't get the statue.
Right, right.
You know, I crashed his wife's plane, Theresa Hines.
You did?
I chartered that plane. I think they were married back then. Yeah, and I chartered it and coming back from, I think, St. Martin many years ago, or St. Thomas, and landed in a snowstorm in Farmingdale, Long Island, and crashed the plane.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You nearly died on John Kerry's wife's plane.
Yes, true story.
That would have been a great ending for you.
I know, right?
You got to. I mean, how do you want to end your life eventually? I mean, obviously you're a long way from it, but you've got to go out with a bang, haven't you?
Hopefully in my sleep. I always say my wife hates to fly, right? And we're in a plane and it starts to bounce at, honey, I'm not going to die in a plane crash. It would be way too anticlimactic at this point. I've been through 3 plane crashes, a yacht sinking. I mean, it's not going to happen like that. So, hopefully I'll die many years from now, asleep in my bed with my children happy and healthy. That's my goal.
And when you do, how do you want to be remembered?
It's the ultimate comeback story, ultimate redemption story.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, I think I'm really have done a pretty good job at that. And I think not just that I help people, with this book to invest more wisely, or my sales training book to sell more effectively, or be a better entrepreneur. I think also my life into itself serves as inspiration to people who are either made a mistake or are currently down on their luck or just struggling, and you think that how do I come back from
And
this?
what's the single most effective bit of advice for people that are in that position to get them back on track?
That there's going to be typically a specialized skill that you might have to learn. You might have to re-educate yourself to learn something new, and you have to...
Like you learn to write.
Exactly.
And speak and everything else.
So there's hard work, but then there's doing hard work that you don't like doing. Some hard work people, you might like doing something, so you'll work really hard at that. Embrace the stuff that you need to embrace that maybe you don't like doing. Just to train yourself to do things you don't like doing to get the things that you want. Most people skip that step. They, like you're a famous newscaster, right? Well, how hard did you work? How much hard did you train? How much work did you do to get to that point? To be great at interviewing people, to perfect your delivery. There's work to be done. If you want to change your life and you have a certain set of skills, well, guess what? Chances are you're going to have to learn or perfect a certain skill to get the outcome you want. Don't just try to have the plan. Do the work, the hard work in the beginning. And that's the first step, I think, to really changing your life.
I also think obviously the classic never give up is important, but also everything does pass. I mean, you've seen that in your life.
Yeah.
And I always say to my kids, and they're from 12 to 30 now, but however bad things seem in the moment, short of death, everything is recoverable.
Yeah.
You can survive and thrive, whatever it is. Do you think?
Yeah, I do. But again, I'll get back, because this is one missing thing that really drives it, is that, it's not just about hard work. It's not never give up, because if you just keep doing the same thing again and again...
It's about changing your own...
It's something about you. You might have to change something about yourself. Either learn a new skill, build yourself emotionally, become more resilient, but you can't just be the same person and expect different results. You have to grow yourself. And that's the step I think most people miss, is they don't invest in themselves, whether it's taking the right courses. You could do it online, you could do it in person, but literally learning things that you have to know to succeed in life. And if you don't have those things, you'll keep getting banged around. Maybe you'll get some mediocre results, but the greatness lies in making yourself great. You have to be great at something and then do the hard work, and then you'll get the result you want.
So you've actually met a real wolf, right?
Yeah,
with the photographer David Yarrow.
So I'll
good
tell you,
friend of mine as well.
I've done many photo shoots with David. in the beginning with a real wolf, ultimately with a hybrid because he was getting some flack from the animal people, right? So now it's not full wolves, but it's hybrid, so it's more friendly to the whatever you call the animal crazies, right? Okay, but incredible stuff with David. And then recently, I was in Bali, and an old friend of mine, believe it or not, he has a house. He keeps 22 wolves, real wolves, in his house. And it's just the most, he walks around with these 7 wolves, and yeah, I met all surrounded by wolves, and the wolves are not like dogs. You don't tell a wolf to sit. He'll say, you know, the wolves don't live. Wolves dance to their own tune, but they're also beautiful, and you know, they don't bite you per se, but you know, you don't want to be around them when they're hungry.
Did you see any similarities between you and an actual wolf, character-wise?
The characters, they go in packs. I had my pack, my wolf pack back then, right? It wasn't just me. I was the leader of the pack. I was the alpha wolf. But, you know, you always have a pack of wolves, and wolves are very intelligent, and they always find a way. That's the thing about wolves. They always find a way.
And they'll kill anything that gets in their way.
If it gets in their way, especially if they're hungry.
Great to see you, Jordan.
You too. Take
Let's
care.
not leave it another 12 years. I enjoyed it.
For sure.
Good to see you.